Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show, and let's take a look at what happened in the market. It was a little bit red today. There were a few poppers there. We had that UOKA. I think it was Scott was all over that bad boy. I mean, it went through a name change, even ran up $1. That was at like MDJH or something like that, and that one ran today. And SATL, we were looking at that, and ASST, and a few other ones were running up there. So ZEO was running, and a few others that we had on the list that we liked last night. So here we go. Let's take a look and see what's going to be popping tomorrow. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody tonight? Let's rock and roll through the list. We kind of shortened them up a little bit. It's perfect. We'll go through the scanners and everything, and we'll see what our best opportunities for our best profits are tomorrow, and we'll get it rocking and rolling like that. It's a good time to do it, and check out a few of them. The small caps will run through everything. I think it's a perfect little format. We'll hit our ETFs tonight and see what the market looks like, and we'll get set up to see what's going to be popping there. And let's go. JTAI, anything with an AI right now is popping up there. This one's coming out of the basement. Expect it to start running pretty heavy, so keep an eye on this thing tomorrow. JTAI, this is one that we had looked at way before, and it did reverse split recently. And it seems like these AI ones have recently all split, and then they're starting to take off. This one's going to be a runner right here. I know it's just starting to, and so keep your eye on that. You're going to ride that bad boy up. JTAI right there, and that AI, that one was running up. We looked at this a long time ago, and like I said, we looked at this probably in the 20s, and it's up at $42 right now. It does have earnings. When was it? Today? The ninth. Yeah, it was today. Their earnings. It looks like it could be topping out, but who knows? These things have that look and then keep going up. They almost give you that crypto look at the top. Some of these software technology ones, these AI companies, and also them quantum, the computer hardware ones, are doing the same exact thing in PLTR. So not usual. Well, we definitely didn't see that the last administration. I promise you that. This is happening because of the new administration coming in for sure. So that's AI, and that one is cruising up. Like I said, that could be topping out. So just keep an eye on it if it's trying to run up higher. We looked at that GRRR last night, that Gorilla Technology Group, and that thing looked good. It looked like it was trying to curl back up. It ran up $1.33 and a little bit more in the after hours there. What it do today? It ran from 680 to 824, and it's sitting at 795. So that bad boy looks pretty good, and that's a UK infrastructure company, GRRR. And that one we looked at, CDIO, that Cardio Diagnostic Holdings. This thing ran up quite a bit, and I know we looked at it a long time ago when it was way down there, probably in October, because I posted it, and it was like way down here in the 20-cent range. And today it ran up to what, 79. So yeah, that was like a 200% pluser right there, CDIO, and that was definitely on one of our lists. And like I said, I had posted it, and it looks like it wants to kind of run up in the top, possibly more tomorrow. Just be careful. Come back down and then reset up to run some more. So that is a biotech company, CDIO, and we were definitely early on that guy. And GFAI, again, with these AI companies, and this one's running up in the top. Watch this one for some momentum tomorrow morning, because it looks like it's going to have some right there. GFAI. So keep an eye on that, and that should keep moving. And how about that GXAI? This was moving this morning. It was way up there, GXAI, and it ran what, 313 to 555, and now it's at 415 right now. And again, just watch for this one. It could be topped out there, but they have been running up there quite a bit, so I'll have to look at that one in the morning as well. But that GFAI looks like it could keep the momentum, and JTAI is just starting out at the bottom, so you definitely want to be watching that bad boy tomorrow, because that one could get crazy. So there you go at them. And RIME. Let's look at that one right now. RIME. And that one was up 2 cents. It's another one we are looking at. Had them weird looks down there. It was trying to curl up and get out of the basement. I don't think it ever really got out of the basement, but it is trying to curl up here. And that bottom looks like it was yesterday. So keep an eye on this. It could pull back a little tomorrow. It's not exactly sure what it wants to do, but it is curling up and trying to set up there. And that is RIME. And what did that have in volume? 277 million right there today. So that one should get cruising, or it got cruising today. And like I said, it's trying to get out of the basement. What I was gonna say is if it can get out of the basement, it'll get cruising. Just has that weird look. So if it gets out of the basement, it'll get cruising some more. And that's RIME. And we are looking at that. HAO. Let's look at that one. And this is a China small cap. And I'm telling you, it was setting up. It's been setting up, and it looks like it wants to run. And that yin was up today, and it was that look that we had. I know they look like they it wanted to run up there. We were looking at them last night, and it definitely did. And they had something going on. We'll look at that later. And so yeah, these China small caps have been setting up, and they look like they want to get popping. So you know what happens when they look good? They get cruising. So HAO, you might want to keep an eye on this bad boy, and we have been for a little while. It looks like it's setting up and getting ready to rock and roll right there. So keep an eye on that. AUST, I put it on the list last night. It looked like it had bottomed out there and wanted to run up. It ran from 157 to 182, and it is trying to curl up. I mean, it may bounce around a little bit, but it is looking pretty healthy to get moving. And again, this thing was all the way up at the 320s, maybe even higher. I forget what it got up to that day, 320 or somewhere's around there. And we're looking at it at $1.66. So it is looking pretty decent to try to get moving again. And that's at Austin Gold AUST. So watch for that one to try to get some momentum going right there. And CETX, let's see what that's up to since it reverse split. It did look like it was trying to curl up today. That's why I had it here. That 20's coming down. It's at 491. We're at 370, but this thing looks like it's much better shape right now, CETX. So keep an eye on this. It does look like it's trying to set up there. And that bottom does look like it was last week on December 4th at 271, and you're at 347 possibly in the after hours, 362 on mine. And yeah, it does look like it's trying to curl up. It's still in the basement down there, but does look like it's trying to set up. So we'll keep an eye on that CETX. ITRM's been running up right there and looking decent. So let's take a look at it. It was up 21 cents today, and it was pushing that $3 envelope up there. It was at 302 as a tie. It opened at 271. It's still in the top up here, and I'm telling you, it's going to continue to run. Well, not really run up. It's run up in the top. It's going to continue to be bullish though. If it pulls back, and then it's going to continue to run up, is what I was going to say. And so ITRM again is just looking solid as a company right now. And I know they did have that pretty good news on something, and then some compliance. What was it? A urinary tract infection, something, disease, medicine or something like that. And they had some compliance with NASDAQ on the 21st of November. And it's been looking solid. Like I said, it's up in the top. Anytime they can run up in the top like this, they're usually in pretty good shape. And like I said, it'll pull back a little bit, but it's setting up to continue that next leg up. So keep an eye on this ITRM and see how far it can run up here. TRNR, this thing pulled back again today. We'll see if it can bounce off of this bottom tomorrow. It almost looks like today is going to be that bottom, and it almost bottomed out here the other day as well. It got down to what, 261, and also on the 27th, it got down to 265. And its real bottom was down here at what, 264. Oh, actually, I think or no, 250. That's what I thought. Yeah, so that 261, this could be a little bottom and bounce play. So I'll keep my eye on it tomorrow and see if it wants to get moving finally. TRNR, if not, we won't worry about it. But it just had that look. It looked like it was setting up, and now it looks like it could be a bottom bouncer. So keep your eye on it. I'll check it out in the morning, see what it wants to to do, and I'll keep you posted on that. And that is TRNR and NMHI, Nature's Miracle. This thing was looking pretty decent. I know we looked at it last night. It jumped up over to 20 today. It got up, 13 cents at least. It went to 265 to 298, and it's still looking solid right there. So NMHI, and I know we were looking at that last week as well, and it started to move up. So that should try to keep its momentum right there. I'll keep an eye on that TRNR, and like I said, that ITRM is run up at the top, but the company looks solid right there, almost like that BLDE. I meant to put that on here and look at it, so let's look at it real quick, and I'll add it here. But BLDE is that Blade Air Mobility, and it's still way up there. That's 466, and it is. It's just like came out of the top, and it's making a nice base. And again, the company's solid. You could tell immediately by looking at it, BLDE, and even with its pullback, it's still trying to go up higher. So that's how you can just look at a chart and kind of see real quick if the company looks real solid. I mean, sometimes you can't exactly tell that fast, but a lot of times I can get a pretty good idea. If I look at it for a few days, I can generally tell. But you can see how I called out Big Lots being bankrupt and a couple other ones right before they even announced it. And like I was saying, this company looks good. And then the CEO sends me a message and says that they just became a profitable company and they're looking good. So you can tell by the charts. And like I was saying, it may have a little healthy pullback, but it's going to continue its way up. And that's BLDE, that Blade Air Mobility. And that's just one, again, that you can keep an eye on because it's going to continue its way up. It'll have a little healthy pullback, but stair step up as it goes because the company's in good shape and you can just tell. So there you go with that. And NUWE, somebody asked about this. They referenced a trade that I posted back in 2022. I was like, I don't remember going over this recently, but that's what they had. Someone posted it on stock charts. They commented on it from 2022. So I was trading this one back then. And I think it even ran over 100% if I remember. But anyway, this one's curling up and looking good, guys. NUWE. I looked at it today after someone mentioned it, and I said, "Man, that is looking great." So it went 129 to 140, and it's sitting at 130. So keep an eye on that bad boy right there because that looks real good. NUWE and APLD. That's at Applied Digital Corporation, and it had a nice dip. It was down like $1.15 today, and obviously a lot of them crypto related ones are probably pulling back as crypto is not looking exactly good. And I was saying it was kind of teetering, it was hard to tell, and they just went down immediately. It was just a fast like pullback. You couldn't tell, and then all of a sudden they dropped down. They were just sitting on them lines. They could have went either way, and I'm not sure exactly, but we'll go over that as well. But yeah, they did. I saw them just falling down, like basically a couple minutes after they started going through that MACD. It was pretty quick. It was like, wow, that was fast. So anyway, we'll go over them. But yeah, anything crypto related is probably pulling back a hair, and it's not the end of the world. They kind of needed to anyway. They've run up so much. So APLD is pulling back, and we'll see. It's just about to hit that 20 and coming down to the line. So it could easily bounce back up and look much better with no problem within a day or so. So we'll keep an eye on that. RR, that Rich Tech Robotics, we looked at this last night and wanted to go up. It's up. It was up at least 14 cents today. RR, it ran what? 81 to 105, and it's sitting at 96 cents. So it was up well over 20%. We looked at this last night, and it may even keep that momentum going in there to the top. So keep an eye on that as a momentum play for tomorrow because it might want to do it. And that MDAI we've looked at, that Spectral AI, and another one, anything with an AI at the end of it has been running, even though this is medical device company. It did run up there the other day on December 2nd. It is pulling back, honestly, down out of the top and curling back down and still doesn't even want to pull back that hard. The other day when it came down to a 180 on December 4th was probably its low right there. I'd have to assume. I'll keep an eye on it, but I'm going to figure when it comes down to that MACD, it's going to roll off of there. And the lowest it might come is a dollar like 75. So maybe it'll get a little lower than that, but than that other low it was at a dollar 80. Maybe it will hit that dollar 75. But again, another one just setting up and has that AI. I don't know what this company even does, but it is looking pretty decent. Spectral AI incorporates frontline feedback into improved software release for enhanced diagnostic precision. I have no idea what they're up to. Again, you know how much news I look at and how much of the companies I look at. I really don't look at any of them. So there you go. The chart, it is just basing out there and looking decent. So we will keep an eye on that MDAI and that SNSE. That one we were looking at before, it did run up perfectly. And I'm telling you, this one's just setting back up. I knew it was going to run up and pull back. I pretty much said that would happen. And then it would run up and then it would really get set up. So here's that pullback, and that bottom was probably Friday, when it came down to 43 cents. Today's low is 46. And yeah, you're gonna see this one getting set up and be a really nice bounce real soon. So keep an eye on this guy, SNSE. It had already run up one time right when we were talking about it, and then it pulled back obviously, and now it's gonna set up to get moving again. So there you go, SNSE and that TNXP. That was up today. It was trying to get curled up and moving. It looks like it's trying to roll off that MACD and get cruising. The other day was its low at like 0.1620. It was running up some today. What'd it get to? Let me see, 18 to 20 cents. It's at 19 right now, and just under 19 or right at 19. And it is looking pretty decent. So keep your eye on this guy because it looks like it wants to continue going up there. TNXP, and that PLUG is just plugging away, going up, continuing to go up. We've been looking at it and we nailed that guy perfectly. And again, this one just, went up today. I'm just looking to see 240 to 286, and it's sitting at 269. So yeah, it just keeps plugging away there, getting up there. And I don't know, it should try to get to this top line. We'll have to see how much further it runs up tomorrow. But that was a nice one, perfect little run. And I love that the charts are running the way they should be. At least they're mostly running the way they should be. Remember all them issues we had a few months ago and in the summertime when things just did not want to run right? I mean, this went on for 3.5 years, but I just started doing the show basically in June, I think, and I was pointing out things every single day. You guys that listen all the time know what I was pointing out and talking about. And yeah, you can see exactly what I was saying. Now the charts are running pretty smooth. And I mean, look how easy it is. We just now everything. We were nowing everything before. It was just a little more difficult, but now it's like much easier, and it'll continue to get easier. And like I say, it'll run up. They'll be going crazy, and then you're gonna have a pullback period, and I expect it to happen. So don't. I just want to get you guys geared up because it will pull back for sure. I can already see it gonna happen once they get in there and start cutting all this nonsense out and really doing them budgets and things. You can see the market will react to it, and it should pull back when that starts to happen, and that's expected. I expect it to happen, and of course, we'll be on top of it all. So, but that'll be a few months down the road, obviously, and we'll be all over that. But let's enjoy the run because we'll enjoy the pullbacks too with the options. We can nail them every which way. So yeah, PLUG, just plugging away just the way we thought, and it should have a little more momentum, I would think, tomorrow. And how about that PW? A lot of people seem to like this thing. Let's take a look at it. I didn't think it was ready to move today, and I was saying last night I'll let you guys know, and it came down like 21 cents, down 11 cents. You could tell it topped out the other day when it got up to that 259 area on the 5th, and it is just pulling back. And like I say, I'll take a look at it because a lot of people keep looking at this thing, and I'm not exactly sure why, but Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I just don't know what they even do. It's a real estate company and it says Rhett Specialty USA Amex. I have no idea. I've seen it before and I am not exactly sure, but yeah, I mean, for that setup, you're talking like 2, 3 months down the road. So that's why I'm not sure what everybody's talking about. At least in my eyes, I have no idea what everyone's talking about. It did have that nice run up, don't get me wrong right there, up until December 5th, but it is pulling back there. And like I said, we'll catch it at the very bottom. It's probably going to come down, I would think, into the 130s, it looks like to me. And then we'll ride it right back up, and then it'll close that channel up a little bit more, but it'll bounce around there, I would assume, like at least once, twice, maybe even three more times as it gets set up, and then it'll get booming. So, like I said, you still have a few months for it, and that is PW, and we can keep it on the list, and I'll keep you updated on it, and it can be our new holo. Speaking of which, we'll look at it, HOLO, and that's just running the bottom there. Actually, yesterday, Friday was that bottom. We were looking at it down at 164. Today, it ran up 182 to 207. It's at 175, and I wouldn't doubt that it gets moving. So keep an eye on holo because you can see Friday was definitely its bottom right there. So holo might have a little run for us right there. And again, we'll just not worry about that one too much. It just happened to pop in my mind. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on PW and holo. Watch for that one tomorrow. Could be cruising. WTO. This one is one of them China small caps. Isn't holo a small China small cap as well, I believe? Yeah, I would keep an eye on this thing. Maybe we will look at this now because I'm telling you, Friday was its bottom. It tried to get moving today. It just couldn't do it. So it is going to get set up. And that 20's up at like 217. We're at 175. So not that crazy. And holo could do it. So we will keep an eye on that as well. WTO, let's go back to that one. And that is a small cap China one too. And that one was moving around. Remember, we were looking at these last week and they were trying to get set up. I knew, again, always being early. And I remember last week it ran up as we looked at it, what, December 5th, which was Thursday. It had gapped up there, opened at like 48 cents the day before. It closed at 33. And now it's back in them 34s and 33, 34 area. But it is getting set up here. It's going to get in between that channel. You can already see it. That 34, it's going to get up over 35 and want to stay up into that 39, 40 cent area and then get cruising. So WTO is setting up right there. And EJH, I put this one on. This is another small cap China one, and it was curling up as well. And that bottom took place like back in November, but it was 67 cents. And the reason why I point that out is because we're at 73, and then our recent bottom right here is probably about 69 and a half. So you're right there. And it is the 20's coming down. It's at 78 cents. We're at 73, and I expect this one to start trying to get cruising too, EJH. So keep an eye on that. Let me just look. Yeah, it looks pretty good on mine as well. So I expect WTO and EJH to get moving soon. And again, these small cap China ones look like they do want to get moving. We'll look at that yin and the yang just because we were looking at them bad boys, and that yin went up like 690, and I think they're having I forget what the heck are they doing, like some kind of whatever they're doing, pumping money into the economy, and somebody knows what they're doing. I have no, I'm sure Laptop Travel knows. I just can't think of it. And but yeah, they're doing something over in China where they're pumping some money in there and making it look real good again. And remember, this thing ran up not long ago on October 7th, and it ran all the way to 59. We played the yang going up, and now they're just reversing courses now that they're pumping some more money into the China economy. But yeah, that yin got moving. We were looking at it last night. I had that look and I just couldn't tell because it was a weekend. And again, they've done it so many times where they jumped up, but they'll move the yin pretty fast. They won't move the yang as fast because again, they're not going to risk making the economy over there get all shook up. So they don't want to do that, but they'll make the yin move pretty quiet, pretty crazy, pretty quick, which exactly what they did. And again, they're just they're pumping some money in there, and it is looking good. So keep your eye on that because it should continue to move up. At least it looks like it wants to, and it may try to run back up into the 50s again. So watch that yen again because it looks pretty good. And there you go. What the heck are they doing? I gotta look on stock twits because I can't even think of the word. What the heck are they doing over there? The yen. What is it called? When they put the money in, I can't even think. My brain is like, what is it even called? I'm not sure. I didn't even mean to go there. I meant to go on here. This is where I meant to look. Oh, it didn't even say it on here. I don't know what the heck they're doing, but they're putting money into the China economy, and there you go. The yen is moving up there, looking pretty good. So there you go with that bad boy. And let's see what's going on. Let me just see. Let me keep on cruising. I'll go through the messages. But yeah, I just went sidetracked on the yin and the yang because again, I think the small cap China ones are setting up here. BTCT, this is another one that pulled back with crypto, and it's crypto related, and you can see it is setting back up. So actually, today probably was its bottom, and so maybe they're gonna get cruising again. And that's at BTCT. And again, we were super early on that guy. That's for sure. And let's look at the DRCT and see what that's up to. That's Direct Digital Holdings. It's an advertising agency in the US and it was popping out of the out of the basement today. It was up 16 cents. DRCT. And it does look like it wants to crawl through and continue to move. So keep an eye on that guy, DRCT, to continue that momentum tomorrow. And how about ENTO? ENTO, Entero Therapeutics or whatever it's called, just got into the top and kind of ran flat. Hard to tell if it wants to stay up there. It could do anything. If I had to guess, it looks like it was coming down, but that would just be my guess. And yeah, again, that's just a pure guess right there, but it does look like it might have topped out and could be setting back up, but it just kind of went flat as a hit in the top there, so I can't exactly tell, but that one has run up the last few days. ENTO and SVRE is Saver 1 2014 LTD ADR, whatever that means, and it is an Israeli scientific and technical instrument company technology, and it's been down at this bottom just making a really nice base, and it's just been waiting for that 20 to come down. I didn't think it needed it, but it's at 119 to 20, and this is at 109, and it is getting ready to set up, and it's probably going to get cruising between this like I said, 119 and 167 hit that channel and start moving. So keep your eye on SVRE because that one is setting up. We had looked at that for a while there, a little bit back a couple months ago, I guess. SVMH, this one had run up the other day and it's just sitting right in a good spot still. I could see it trying to pop back up. SVMH, keep an eye on it. It ran a few times and it is just sitting there in a good spot. And it wants to run back up to that 5 cents. It's at 3 cents right now, maybe just under 3 cents. But yeah, it's not looking bad at all. So keep your eye on SVMH and XTIA. This was up just a little bit today, and I'm telling you, this thing's going to get cruising, guys. It looks like that bottom was already put in right there back in the end of November at like that lower 4 cent area. It's at like 0.0432 right now, and I'm telling you, this thing wants to get cruising. Let me bring it up on mine real quick, and yeah, it's just kind of jumping around. It has to get back up over that 5. It just hasn't been able to get over that 5 cent area, and that 20 seems like it's coming down because it's at like a little over 4.5. So keep an eye on this XTIA because it's still setting up right there and not looking bad. And how about EYEN? That one we looked at before. It was iNovia. I was trying to think what it is. It's a biotech company, and that one looks like it's trying to get out of the basement. And that bottom was down here at like in the high sevens, right under 8 cents. And you're just under 10 cents right now. EYEN. And yeah, that looks really good to get moving, guys. So keep an eye on that tomorrow. It looks like it wants to run up. And how about LGHL, the Lion? Let's see, it's right there. Keep your eye on this. It's about to get cruising, guys. That Lion's going to have a big old run real quick. So LGHL, keep your eye on it. And I know it ran recently on the 29th. It ran up to that 27 cent area, and it's getting set back up to take off. So keep an eye on Lion because it's going to take off right there. LGHL and UOKA. Scott was early on this bad boy. Like I said, MDJM. That's what it was. I said H, I think earlier. MDJM Ltd is the company. I think the stock ticker was MDJH before, possibly. And that one did run up today. We've been looking at it, that UOKA. And it did pop up today and it looked pretty good. It went from 14 to 32. It's back to 20. It's still not looking terrible. So keep an eye on it. That's that one that ran up to $1 the other day when they changed the name, and you can only trade it in certain accounts. So there you go with that one, UOKA. And so keep an eye on that tomorrow if it wants to run up a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure, but it did run up today. And let's look at SABS, SAB Biotherapeutics. This one was moving today. I saw this on the scanner, and it was cruising there, 326 to 501. It's at 399 right now. And still not looking too bad, I have to say. SABS. It just got into the top. I'd have to look at it tomorrow to see. Obviously, in the morning, if it gets up over this 472, it says it came back to what, four? This says 399. Yeah, it has to get back up over that 470 to get moving again, and that's SABS. So just keep an eye on it because I can't tell if it wants to get up in the top or it's going to pull itself down. It barely just poked its head in there, and sometimes that's hard. It doesn't really look like it has that much momentum, but not saying it couldn't do it. I just have to look at it real quick and see it real fast and see if it wanted to make that move. IWM, this is the iShares Russell 2000 ETF, and this looks like it's trying to pull back, but I would say it's going to get stuck here at that 237, basically right at 237. It's at 237.84, and IWM is, yeah, it looks like it would get stuck right there. I don't know if it's coming back down through that 20 right there, and if it did, it would come back to 230. So and looks a little bearish right there. I mean, but it will set right back up. And LPA, let's see what that one's up to. Logistic Properties of the Americas. This one had run up recently on December 2nd, and it looks like it's trying to curl back up there. LPA, let's see. It does look like it's trying to. That 20 and 50 are meeting up, and it's not looking bad, honestly. So keep an eye on that. It looks like it's setting up still and has some momentum, LPA. And that PGHL, this thing's just been bouncing around as it's setting up. Let me type it in right. Here we go. And like I said, it's just been bouncing around down 11 cents. And we know this thing's going to bounce around as it sets up. That's why we're going to be super patient with it. And as soon as it gets to the right spot, about 3 days out, you know it's going to pop. And then it'll try to run around a little bit more. But you have to be patient with these things. And this one's that one that had that giant dip. I mean, it went from like over $200 that day and came all the way down into the dollar range. So it's at $1.55 right now, and that's PGHL. And like I said, we'll look at it and know when it wants to go up. And how about that OCTO Octo? And this thing's just making a little base down here. I have a feeling this one's going to get moving. I think Scott's been looking at this bad boy as well too. And yeah, that 20 is just cutting it right now, and I think it is trying to get set up. It's looked like it's been trying to get set up the last few days. I don't think it's coming back down here to that 150 area. It's at 174. I don't even think it's coming back down into the 160. So we'll keep an eye on this, but this thing looks like it's trying to get set up. OCTO and REVB. Revelation Biosciences. This one had run up, I think, last week, December 3rd. Yeah, last Tuesday it was running up and it had just crawled through it and immediately came down. I remember looking at it. It has that weird look basing out down here. And I think this one is basing out down here, REVB. And it's going to try to start curling up. And that bottom's going to be that 29 cents. And you're back at 46 already and trying to get cruising. And it was up at what, 97 cents on December 2nd. So last Monday, it was way up there. And you're looking at it at 45 cents just about. So it does look like it's trying to get moving. Keep an eye on it, and we'll see if it's trying to base out right there and get cruising. And that is REVB. And let's take a look at SBFM. SBFM, here we go. Sunshine Biopharma. And this one looks like it's just pulling back, but the 20 and 50 are going to meet up. So just let it pull back and get set up here. Could have a few days to set up, maybe a day or two. But yeah, it does look like it's trying to set up. I'll take a look at this bad boy tomorrow because that one could be a really nice setup in the next few days. So I will take a look at that one and see what it wants to do. And ARM, let's see what that's doing. I hope I ordered brand new lights because I can't. I'll make it so that I can write better on this list. And you know what it is? There's too many shadows. I just bought a new light. I was talking about it before. It's not too bad, but I'm telling you, with my brain injury, my eyesight's pretty good. They say it's perfect still, 2020, but it's hard for me to adjust on certain things. And if there's any kind of shadow at all, forget about it. I can't see anything. And I used to be fine. It's an adjustment. So I just ordered new lights so I'd have double the lighting. And and I can't wait for that to come. I was hoping it arrived today, but I'm guessing it will probably come tomorrow, and it'll make things so much easier because I have to keep moving this paper around and the light around to be able to see. And I'm just like, that's why I know Laptop Travel was saying it was a little sloppy, and it definitely has been. It's just I feel like my eyesight's gotten worse in the last week or two. I can't even see anything, and so and I have a bunch of lighting. It's crazy, but anyway, that's just I'm trying to make it mark them better so that you can understand. So if I take a picture of it, you can see what's going on here. And yeah, so I'm gonna get better lighting because I keep having to move the light all over the place and mess with it. And that's what I'm doing in between looking at stock charts. I'm playing with the stupid light so that I can see what I'm even looking at. So I apologize for that, but just telling you what's going on here, and it'll get much better. Hopefully tomorrow I get a new light comes in, and I'll be way happier. But anyway, ARM. Let's look at ARM. This thing is setting up and going to get strong. Just let it bounce around. It's almost in that channel. Maybe it'll pull back into the 133s. It's in the 139s, and ARM is going to definitely get set up and get cruising soon. Like I said, it could have a little bit of pullback. It has a little bit of setup time, but not that much there, and it will get booming. And that is a semiconductor company right there. So just let it set up. And that SATL has been a monster, and it ran way up there today. We were looking at it last night, talking about it, that satellite company. And I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that drone thing finally made like national news in New Jersey. And I mean, it's been crazy. They were all over tonight too. It was wild. I know there's a lot of people talking about it today. I actually heard people talking about it. I mentioned it last night. And we were talking about this company right here, and that's when I started to tell you about it. I know that, and this thing ran up from 470 to $6, so it's at 504. And I don't know, it might have topped out today, but who knows? The thing keeps running up, but it does look like it has that top. So be careful at SATL, and it did run way up there. Let's take a look at DDD. That's 3D Systems Corp. And this thing is setting up really, really nice right here. Curling up really nice and looks solid to continue running. Went from 283 to 329 today. It's at 322 and looks really good. So keep an eye on this. Has some resistance in that 350 area, but should get right through it, I would assume. So keep an eye on that. DDD, 3Ds, DDD. It's looking really good right there. Um, TSHA, that's it. Taysha Gene Therapies. I have no idea. I've never even heard of this thing before. I'll tell you what, though, it's about to make that hard curl up, is what it looks like. I have to check this out in the morning. TSHA. It looks like it's pulling back on mine on FinViz. It looks much better. I have to look at this in the morning. I don't even know what the heck they do, but yeah, that was the other day. They announced some inducement grant on their NASDAQ listing rule, and I'm not sure what they even do, but I'll have to look at that tomorrow just to see what they're up to. Can't get a really good look at TSHA, so I'll look at that bad boy and CKPT. Let's look at Checkpoint Therapeutics because this thing's been running up. It's definitely setting up to be bullish. It had some good pullback today, and so I would keep an eye on this bad boy tomorrow, see if it comes back down into that 384. Today it ran from a 422 up to 427, came down to 390, and it's at $4. It looks like it's crossing down, coming down, but it's setting up and has a lot of support at 381 and even more at 375. So I'd be amazed if it gets through both of them. It also has some good support right there where it's at, like basically at 388. So watch for this thing to try to bounce back up. CKPT, I could see that one getting a good bounce going right there. And CYTO, I know we looked at that last night and it was down 2 cents, but I'm telling you, this thing's setting up. It did run around today too. It popped up a little bit. It ran from 51 to 57, pulled back to 45. It's in between that channel. We were talking about it, and I'm telling you, this thing looks like it's going to be getting set up as well. So just keep an eye on that guy, CYTO, because it's looking decent. And ALT, Altimmune, this one I think is about to get blasting off, guys. And I don't look at much news, and you know that, but they have the Altimmune CEO was talking about some experimental obesity drug, and you know if that thing even has some kind of decent rate, this thing will be crazy. It's in the $9 range right now, and it's just looking really, really bullish. It looks like it wants to run up into the top, get up over that $10 range, and keep popping. So it's at 966. And that is ALT. So keep an eye on it, ALT, because it's not looking bad to me. That's for sure. It looks like it's curling up there, and it looks pretty solid. So watch that guy, ALT, and that is looking good. And how about CLOV? Let's look at Clover Health Investments. This one's just pulling back right there. I have a feeling this one's going to get set up though. CLOV. I remember this one ran really big before it reverse split. It had come down. I remember it came way down to the bottom. It was like a penny stock from pretty much being in the dollars. I know they had reverse split a few times. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly. But anyway, let's go back to it. And look, we're sitting at 330 right now. And like I said, it is pulling back, about to hit that line. And you have support down here at 318. So I would assume it's going to get there. And if it's going to pull back, and we'll have to see what it does. And I think it's going to have to bounce off that MACD. So I'll keep an eye on CLOV, and that's at Clover Health. And we'll keep an eye on that guy and see what it wants to do. And GELS, let's see what that's doing tonight. It's a fairly new one. I took a look at it because people were talking about it. Someone sent it over, and it did run up today, 208 to 468. It's at 442, and it's hard to tell if it's going to continue to run. Like I said, it's a new one. It's not in the top, so it could, but I can't exactly tell you because it doesn't have enough data for me. I can't, I like to look at them for 6 months or at least, and this started, looks like October 29th. So I'm not exactly sure what GELS is going to do, but it has potential to run up. So look and see in the morning if it wants to keep its momentum, and you'll have some momentum right there on GELS and Lucid LCID. This thing, we were super early. It was curling up, continuing to run up. Just watch it because I'm not sure if it wants to keep popping up there. It looks like it does, but it is hitting a little resistance. I could see it pulling back to like the 216, 220 area and getting set back up to run. So that's LCID. And and that one did run for us. RGTI, this one was popped up over $5 this morning. It almost looks like it kind of topped out, but I mean, that was a serious run right there, RGTI, and it ran the 590 this morning up from 474 where it opened, and you're sitting at 450. So we'll have to look at this. This is one of them computer hardware companies, and again, we were looking at this real early, and we saw this one run up. And let's take a look at QBTS because that's another one of these computer hardware companies, D-Wave Quantum. It was down 41 cents, and it looks like a lot of these guys topped out today, is what it looks like. I'm not saying it's definite, but that's just a look they have. They could bounce back up again, but QBTS kind of has that look as well. So we'll have to take a look at them tomorrow, and I'll check them out in the morning just to see what they look like. And also, let's look at all of them real quick. QMCO, that's why I popped them on here. This one looks like it is trying to curl back up and run up. So keep your eye on this one to try to run up, QMCO. I think that one has a little potential. And QTUM, let's see this one. QTUM. That's that Defiance Quantum ETF, and it looks like it is pulling back. And when I looked at this, I kind of said, it looks like it wants to pull back a little bit, but again, it could stay up at the top. It's about to hit that top line up here or at the bottom of the top, and maybe it bounces back up, but I'm not exactly sure. They did run up pretty well, and they could pull back the setup to go up higher. And again, they are bullish down the road, so I'm not really worried, but we just want to make sure we're not jumping in them as they're pulling back. UUBT, that one is pulling back as well, and it looks like it is coming out of the top and pulling back there. So we'll watch that one to try to pull back. And IONQ, this one also is pulling back, and another one hit that top and started to pull back. So we'll look at all these tomorrow, see what they want to do. Let's look at Uber and Lyft because Uber had that really nice dip, and it was trying to run around. I don't think it got as low as that 64.28. Nope, 65.06. And Uber's just going to get set up down here. So keep an eye on Uber. And the same with Lyft. They were kind of similar with a nice little dip. Lyft did bounce back up a little bit, and we thought that was its little bottom there from that dip, that pullback, and it is trying to get moving, but I don't know how much it's going to get cruising just yet. Probably going to hit up here at that 17-15 area and possibly pull back. So but they are going to set up to get bullish as well. They had a nice little pullback right there, and they're great opportunities. And that's LYFT Lift. TNFA, let's look at that. TNF Pharmaceuticals. This one was popping up today as well. TNFA, and it did run 130 to 170 right there, and it's at 154, not looking bad either. Just popped up out of that channel, got up there. It's in the 50. It's got to stay up over that 144, and it seems to be up over there in the after hours. So watch for this for some momentum in the morning. TNFA not looking bad at all. HPH, highest performance holdings. This one, let's check it out because it does look really good. Started to move today. Let me see what it was trying to do here. On today, it was 37 to 38, came back to 34, and it's at 35 right now. Doesn't look bad though. I mean, it does look like it's trying to curl up. It just didn't get cruising yet. I would keep an eye on that. HPH, I'll look at that one as well. BNAI. Let's see what that one is. Brand Engagement Network. And this one seems to be curling up. Just throw an AI in your name right now and you'll be cruising, I bet. So BNAI, I don't even know what they do. It is technology, software, infrastructure, and it was cruising today, 75 to 98. It's at 94, curled up, and it looks like it wants to continue going. As long as it stays up, yeah, it looks like it's going to stay up over that 90 cents and keep going. It's at 94 now. So keep an eye on this guy tomorrow, BNAI looks like it's going to keep that momentum as well. And MGNI, it looks like. Let me see. MGNI. Let's look at Magnite Inc. This one's actually was setting up to try to pop up in that top, and it came down today for whatever reason. I don't know if they had something happen, but it was looking really good. It's an advertising agency. I'm not familiar with this MGNI, and yeah, it just came back and is hitting that hitting the support. I mean, I could see it bouncing right back. We have to look at this tomorrow, but watch this one to try to bounce tomorrow. I'm going to keep an eye on it. So, but just watch for it to try to bounce MGNI. We'll look at it and see what it wants to do. And we did look at it. I just added BLDE and Holo, and we looked at them. Let's run through our our laptop travel list real quick. We'll cruise right through that. I'll look at the comments, see what you guys want to see. We'll hit the crypto. We know it's all basically pulled back. It was before I hopped on anyway. And then we'll run through our big caps and our ETFs and see how they're looking and see what our best potentials are for tomorrow. So here we go. Let's take a look at our laptop ones, which are probably mostly set up. So here we go. Let's get cruising here. ADTX. This one's just been taking its time right here. How about ADT? I didn't add an X. Let's look and see what ADT's up to. Security and protection. You know, this company, they're actually pulling back. It's only at 740 ADT. I thought that was like way higher before. I gotta see this. Um, I remember. I mean, it used to be in the tens, but that was a while back last year, I guess. So it's been running in the sixes and sevens. It's been down here. I guess I don't look at ADT very often, but it is pulling back down here. So it looks like it's in between that channel. Had a nice pullback today down to that 736 will be perfect. Got to 738. I would look for it to try to set back up and get moving. It had some nice pullback right there, and that's ADT, your security and protection report. And now we'll look at ADTX, and that's the one we were trying to look at. So ADTX is up a little bit today, and I'm telling you, this thing is going to get set up and get cruising. It's getting to be in that right spot right there. It wants to get moving, and we'll have to see what it did today. What it do? Yeah, it's getting right there, guys. I'm telling you, it's been taking its time, but ADTX is going to set up AEON, Biopharma. This one's curling up really good coming off of that 20 AEON. And what it do today? 65 to 68 came down to 61. It's at 63, but just sitting there, not looking bad at all. So yeah, keep an eye on it. Just make sure that 20 wants to curl it up. It looks like it does. And that one will get cruising. AVGR. Let's see. That one's sitting in a really good spot. I think we definitely looked at this yesterday. It was up 2 cents today, AVGR, and it does look like it wants to try to get cruising. What it do today? 82 to 85, came back to 78. It says it's at yeah, 78 on mine, and it has to get up over this 86. So it didn't seem to get there. It got to 85. It was right there. So we'll see tomorrow if it wants to get rolling over that 86, and that one will get cruising. AWRE, Aware Inc. And let's see how aware this thing is. It is just curled right there. It was just, they're all just kind of bounced around today, not doing a whole lot. But yeah, this thing's definitely setting up. I would see this one get cruising right there. AWRE is set up right where it's at. CMCK, I think I put. I don't even know what I put. An I. CMC something I put. We'll look. I don't think it's this one. I can't. I'm telling you, I have trouble. I can't read anything. CL maybe. What the heck did I even write? I don't know. Probably an L. CMCL. Let me see. What's on here? Yeah, that's one. Here we go. I can't see anything. Um, but this one looks good. I could see this guy's basic materials, gold, and this one looks great. CMCL. Wow, this one's real nice. It was running up today off that bottom. So let's see what it did. 1031 to 1087, and it just has to get over like that 1095, and it is sitting at 1059 right now. It should continue to move. CMCL. So I would keep an eye on that guy, even though I can't see it, but it looks pretty good, I would say. And CREG, let's see what Craig is doing. Smart Power Corp. This is a China little small capper at 70 cents. In between that channel, it's going to get cruising. It might not happen tomorrow, but this thing will get moving relatively soon. So just keep an eye on that. That's definitely setting up right there. And how about DSS, DSS Inc.? I know we looked at this before. It was popped up there last week on Friday. It even jumped up today. Let's see. It jumped up 108 and it's at 106 right now, but it's staying in that channel. Wants to run up to that 117 for DSS, so I would keep my eye on that. And another one like no, this one is a US packaging and container company, but yeah, this one wants to run up to that 118 area and just stay in that channel, and that's DSS Elab. Let's see what that wants to do here. And this one's just getting in the right spot too, guys. Watch this one to start cruising probably this week, I would assume. I'd have to think so. I mean, has that look like it's getting ready. So keep an eye on that ELAB. And HOFV, Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment's getting ready. I know it had pulled back a little bit ago, and now it's setting up. It's making that base right there. HOFV. And yeah, that one's trying to get moving today. 111 to 115. It did come back to 105, but it's at 114 and it looks pretty decent right there. So I would keep an eye on that. KXIN, I know this one's been looking good. It was up another 9 cents today and it still looks pretty decent there. So KXIN, and it just has to get up over that 220 now. So it's at 199 right now. It did get up to that 219. It was right there. Now it has to get up over that, and it could really get cruising. So that's KXIN, and we'll keep an update on that one. ITP, let's see what that's doing. ITP, IT Tech Packaging. And this one is curling up as well. It's just been bouncing around a little bit, but looking really good. 24 to 25. It looks like it moves around a lot more than it does, but I'll tell you what, it's making some space. It's probably going to get over that 25. It's at 24 cents now, but I'm saying it has some space in to move, and it looks really good. Keep an eye on this one. ITP, that one wants to get moving. And how about that LB? We'll see what that one's doing. That's like a pound right there. An LB, a Land Bridge Company LLC, pulling back. That's a nice dip right there, LB. And yeah, we'll watch this one try to bounce either off this 59 area or if it's going to come down to the 57. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's at $61 right now, and that's an oil and gas equipment company, Landbridge, and it is going to set up bullish. It's just having some nice pullback right now. And how about LTRY is the lottery.com? And I know this one had run up before, and this one's getting ready to get moving again. So I guess some people want to be gambling soon. Um, it's right in between that channel. It ran up Friday a little bit to 39. We're at 31. I'd have to look at this tomorrow. It does look like it's trying to get moving, but I'll look at that tomorrow. PALT Pal Talk Inc. This one's actually going to get cruising though. This one looks pretty good. PALT. And yeah, that looks really solid. Let it stay up over right where it's at 191. It can just pop right off of there, keep its momentum. So keep an eye on that for some momentum there. PRSO. Let's see what you're up to here. Making a base, curling up, looking good right there. Let me see. PRSO. Let's look at the good chart here with Trend Spider. I'm telling you, they're best. And yeah, this thing is setting up. 93 cents today is where it opened, where it closed yesterday at 88. So it did gap up, not gapped up a whole lot, but it was up a little bit. And it closed at that 90-cent area. So that one is looking pretty good too. PRSO. So watch that one. PSIG. Let's see what that's doing here. PSIG. PS International Group is a Hong Kong company. And this one seems to be bottoming out and trying to curl up here, PSIG. And today could be its bottom down at 53 cents or back at 57. I'll look at that tomorrow and see if it's its bottom. It'll start to get moving. And let's look at RVP here, Retractable Technologies. This one's about to bounce up, so keep an eye on RVP. It is looking decent today. It did what? 64 down to 61 and back up to 64. And it does look like it wants to bounce right there, RVP. And SLGL, Sogel Technologies. I know we looked at this. I knew them letters looked familiar. SLGL. And what is this? A biotech company in Israel. And let's see, it is trying to set up right there. It's over to 20. What did it do today? It went 41 to 52, and that's where it's at. So it is setting up. It looks pretty good right there. SLGL and SYRA. I know we looked at this a bunch of times. Syra Health, this one's just pulling back, probably going to hit that MACD line and then bounce. So it did have a nice dip today. It opened at 40, got down to 38, and that's where it's at. And it should try to bounce off of that spot. So watch for a little bounce play there. And TCTM. Let's see what TCTM's doing. Here we go. TCTM Kids IT Education. That's a China company down here. And this thing looks like it's trying to curl up. So keep your eye on TCTM. It looks pretty good right there. I would say TCTM is going to be a runner for us. And how about that TTOO? Let's see what that's going to do here. TTOO. Let me put it in both of them here. T2 Bioscience is trying to curl up right there. Let me see if it looks good. And it does. It's just got to stay. It got over today. It got up to that 56. It's at 52. It needs to sit up over 53, 54, and it can get cruising. So it's right there, curled up, and wants to get moving there. And of course, VEEV. Let's look at that one real fast and see what they're up to. It ran up on Friday. It was just pulling back. It was down $4 today, and we'll see if it wants to try to bounce back up. I'm not so sure. It looks like Friday it did top out and it's going to pull back. So there you go with them. And there's a lot of great ones right there. So keep your eye on a bunch of them guys. And that is our laptop list and a lot of great ones, like I said, some beautiful setups. And let me go ahead. I'll look at crypto real quick, then I'll go through the messages and we'll do our big caps and we can wrap it up. And I'll hit the scanners and we'll pick out the best ones for tomorrow. And here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at crypto because it was not looking great, but we'll look at it anyway. So here we are. Let me just hop on my app because it was just completely red. Bitcoin's down to 96,741. And let me just see what it looks like on the chart. We probably don't even have to go through them all, but we will anyway. And although, you know what? Like I was telling you, that 10 and 30 are basically meeting up, and it's right in between there. So it's not looking terrible. It did pull back, hit that 30, and now it's in between that channel. And I have a feeling it's going to get set up. So it probably it was best it did make that room, and really just to be kind of basing out if it does at 96,000 is going to be a beautiful thing. So we'll just get that confirmed, and I'll see it obviously tonight, tomorrow, and we'll make sure that we know exactly what we're looking at. Let's look at Ethereum. It's at 3,694, and that one did pull back to underneath the 10, and again in between that 10 and 30 channel, and probably not going to get under there. So I think that'll be okay. Ripple's back to 214. That was a nice dip though, huh? That took a nice dipper. That one did cross through coming down, and we'll have to just see. I think it's going to get set back up, and another one cross back down through the 10, the 20, the 30s coming up. It's not that close. That's under $1.80 in the $1.70 range. So that one's still got to come up for it. But again, probably going to try to make that base and then get cruising again. I would assume. And let's look at Solana's back at 213 as well. That took a nice dip, but that did come back through the 10 and the 30, and it's way down here. But I think that base is going to get made, and that's the bottom right there. So it made a lot of great movement, and again, it pulled back quite a bit, but They're not. I don't think it's going to see under 200. We'll see, obviously, tonight and tomorrow. I'll keep an eye on it. Cardano is back under $1 at 98 cents, and that one pulled back under the 10 and hitting the 30 down there. So we'll keep an eye on that, see what that look gives us. Doge is back to 39 cents now, and another one just hitting that 10 or hitting that 30, came through the 10 and hitting the 30. So we'll see if that wants to bounce up there. Chainlink's down to 2152. Let's look at that one and see what Chainlink wants to do real quick. And let's see. Yeah, that one came through the 10. It's just between the 10 and the 30, but the 30's way down there. Sheep did pull back. That thing trying to set up and just didn't get moving. That one pulled back to the 30 as well. And that one's actually dipping down. So Sheep not looking so healthy at the moment. Did look great there for a little while. And let's look at Bonk and a couple other ones, and then we can keep on cruising because crypto is pulling back here. Bonk's down like 16% and pulling back. And we'll just see it's underneath the 50 there on the RSI. And yeah, like I said, they're going to be kind of basing out and have to get set back up and get cruising again. So that's Bonk. Let's look at WIF. Let's see what that's at. And that one is down to 293, back under $3. And that one did curl back underneath the 10 and the 30, and the 10 is curling down there. So let's look at Floki real quick and see what that's doing. That was trying to run up earlier, and then it came back down, and it was run up pretty well, and then it just definitely came crashing back down. And your 10 and 30 were meeting up, but it just came down through both of them. So not a very healthy look right there for crypto. Not what we want to see, but it is pulling back, and we'll have to deal with that. So we'll go through it in the morning definitely and see where they're at. I'll look at them tonight and see if anything changes, and I'll keep you updated. But it was a quick dip there. It's just like they were teetering, and all of a sudden, boom, it just came down. So that's probably how they're going to run through the cycle, I can imagine. And if anyone's concerned about the Monday night game, the Bengals and Cowboys are playing. It's 17-17 in the third quarter with 8 minutes left. So there you go. Let's cruise through. We did our crypto. Let's go ahead and knock out our big caps and all. And I'll look at our messages and we'll hit our ETFs. How's that? Because I can crush through these big caps fairly fast, and then knock out our messages and some of them ETFs, and we'll wrap it up and find out what's going to be popping for tomorrow. So here we go. Let's look at the SPY. It was down $3 today. I know that, and it was pulling back, and it hasn't been crossing through very much. So it's coming back to that MACD, and we'll have to see if it wants to bounce back up. I have a feeling it does. I don't think it wants to come all the way down, but we'll have a look at it tomorrow, obviously, to make sure we know exactly what it wants to do. Apple was way up, and I still have that AAPU option, and that thing was like way up because it's expiring soon. So that thing was amazing and running up in the top. So that's Apple, and it looks like it might continue a little momentum tomorrow. So there you go with Apple. Amazon, that one was down a little bit. Almost looks like it had that top look, but again, it's in the top. I have a feeling that they're not going to come down. And if it's green tomorrow, that thing's going to be popping up like crazy. And again, remember the holidays. I mean, one thing, I don't know about you guys, but can Amazon get any of the packages delivered to anybody's house right now? I mean, they never really had issues that much before. But I mean, I keep seeing one of my neighbors had to bring one of the packages down the other day, and I keep seeing a ton of my neighbors all like just not complaining, just saying, "Hey, does anyone know this person? I got a package delivered to my house." And I mean, it's like everybody. It's crazy. So I don't know what's going on with Amazon's delivery, but they seem to be delivering packages to the wrong houses. But anyway, it's holiday season and they're just showing up with like truckloads of packages and dropping them off at houses. It's insane. I mean, so I can imagine that one could bounce easily. Google's been looking good. We were talking about it last week. And that one was looking healthy. It was up a dollar today, and we'll see if it can continue up. It did want to cruise through, and it did run 176 to 179. It's at 178.65, and it does look like it wants to continue to move. So keep an eye on that Google right there. That was looking nice. And Meta was pulling back $10. Let it pull back. It is hitting that support line right there, which used to be its resistance, and it made it a support line. So we'll have to see if it can stay up there. And if not, it's going to come back down into the 580s. And then it'll be a great one to run back up. So we'll see when we want to take that one. Microsoft just keeps running up and impressing me. And it's getting to that top right now. So definitely have to be careful. But it did run up another 245 today. And I was kind of impressed. I thought it was going to top out and set back up. So let that pull up and then it's going to set up and get blasting off again. MSFT, you don't want to chase it up there. Nvidia did have a nice dip today. And so, yeah, that one's got a nice dip opportunity right there. I think we're going to see a bounce, is what it looks like. We'll have to see if it comes down to that 135. It's at 138 right now. If it does come to that, then it's going to really bounce off of there. But I'm not so sure. It looks like it's going to bounce off of right here. So we'll see if Nvidia exactly how it opens up tomorrow. And I have a feeling these semiconductor companies are going to get fired up again. And Tesla, that one was up a little bit. It was up and down. It ran up to like 404 and it's at 391 right now. It's kind of in between a channel right there, 372 and about 408, and it's in the top, and it's just flat. It could go either way. So we'll just have to see how that looks in the morning. And that is Tesla, and that's your Mag 7. And let's look at AMC. That one was down 22 cents to 451 and pulling back right there. So that was AMC pulling back. And yeah, that one definitely pulled back and it came back down to its resistance right there, or resist to its support right there. We'll see if it gets stuck on the 50 at 447 and wants to bounce up. But it did run the other day up to that 556. It is pulling back, and it still has a bullish look, but we'll have to see how it sets up after this little pullback right here. And GameStop was down $1.13. They have their earnings coming up. That is tomorrow, so we'll take a look at it after their earnings. It looks like it's pulling back big time. So we'll see if it dips on the earnings. Watch it'll run up because it's always the opposite of what I think, but it does look like it's pulling back. And Chewy was down 69 cents and looks like it's pulling back there. And they just had their earnings, what, December 4th last Wednesday. So Chewy's pulling back there, CHWI and Netflix. Let's look at Netflix. It was down 21.05 today. And again, these things, when they get in the top, you don't really want to mess with them a whole lot. This thing could come back down into the 875 area. It's a $913 stock. I mean, it's not exactly cheap, but it does move around quite a bit. So Netflix way up there, but is pulling back. NFLX and AVGO is at Broadcom, and that one is it was running up a little bit today, 178 to 180, and then its low is 176. It's at 178.95. So I know it was running up there. They do have earnings coming up on the 12th, which are Thursday. So we'll mess with that after its earnings. It looks like it's going to pull back, but I have no idea. Micron Technology, this was up $1.865, and this one's looking great. Their earnings are coming up on the 18th, but we still have some time. And this one looks like it's about to pop. So keep an eye on that MU, and that one definitely has options right there. MUU, let's look at it real quick and see what it looks like. MUU. And that one does look like it's got that momentum and wants to continue to cruise up there. So keep an eye on that. MU and MUU and TSM. That was down 385 and does look like this one's pulling back here. Could come down to that 191 and then will be another great setup for another semiconductor one, TSM. So yeah, just watch and see if this one pulls back and we'll see how it opens tomorrow. SMCI was up a little bit. I mean, it was up pretty good in the morning. I mean, it ran way up there, as a matter of fact. It was up to what, 49.59. And now it's at 44.19, and it could have been topped out there at that 49.86 on Friday, and then today 49.59 never got as high. I thought it did get higher, but no, it ran up in the after hours. That's right. And so Finviz doesn't show it. So yeah, it did run up a little higher. We'll have to see. It does look like it's trying to pull back some. So we'll look and see if it's just pulling back to set up some more. And that's SMCI. AMD, that was way down. And I'm telling you, this one's going to be a great one. Let it touch this bottom right here, and that will be bouncing AMD. And that's another one that's a semiconductor. So them ones just got smacked down. It's hitting the MACD line right now. So I think you're going to start seeing a bounce there. So that could have been a great dip opportunity. And that's setting up like down the road, like a month or two down the road, probably 2 months. So that's AMD. PayPal's been running up. That ran up. It's up over 90. It was over 90, 92.25, got up to 93.66. So it's at 90 right now and just kind of running flat at that top. So we'll see if that one wants to get up there and keep the momentum for PayPal, PYPL. And how about that snow came down? And like I was saying, we knew this one way down here at the 113s. It's at 180 and even higher than that. And so let that pull back. It got up to 185 today, and you're at 181, and looks like it's going to pull back and not stay in the top. I would assume it's going to come back down, and that's SNOW, Snow, and QCOM, Qualcomm. This one is setting up, and this one looks really good actually. So keep your eye on this bad boy tomorrow, guys. QCOM, that one looks like it could be a good options play. And INTC, this one's going to get set up as well. It was down 11 cents, but I'm going to keep an eye on this. I think that bottom came in Friday at 2066, and you're at 2083. So I think Intel INTC is going to be a solid one real soon. It's setting up, at least it looks like it is. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one as well for options. And how about Disney, DIS? Let's see what Disney's doing. It's coming down, but we had run that way up. And like I said, we got that into the top. It's pulling out. Let it pull back. Oxy's going to set up. And I think you're bouncing off that bottom right now. Friday was your bottom at 47. Where is it? 47.20, and you're at 48.78. And I think Oxy's going to be a great one to run back up. So keep your eyes on OXY because that one's looking really good. I'm not sure if they even have, I don't think they have options on that, but it's looking good. And Exxon Mobil, XOM, is looking down today, and I think it's going to hit that bottom and start bouncing. So that one's going to get set up. Exxon Mobil, XOM. And today could be its bottom at what, 112.75. So we'll keep an eye on ExxonMobil and Mara and Riot and all them guys were pulled back today as Bitcoin got crushed right there. So Mara's down, Riot's down. And again, these things are going to come down to support lines and then get set up and bounce. So I can see how crypto is pulling back. They all needed it, to be honest. And MSTR, that one came way down to 365. And again, that one actually, I mean, it went up in the after hours, but it could come down quite a bit down here to like 300 and then get set back up to get cruising. I wouldn't bet on it for a short position. I would keep an eye and see if it bases out right here. But I could see it happening if crypto continues to pull back. If it bases out, then MSTR is going to base out right in this area, and then we're going to get cruising back up. When it curls up, you're going to get right back into the 400, 455s, and even higher. So that will be micro strategy, and I'll keep you updated on MSTR and CLSK. This one pulled back a little bit, and again tied to the crypto. So that one's pulling back, and coin was pulling down $33. And these things had run way up into the top. It's hitting that 20. I'll see if I think it might come back down even lower. And that's going to be another great one to grab as it pulls back, COIN. And we can grab CONL as well, the ETF, and trade that. DJT, that was up 60 cents. I'm telling you, this one wants to get cruising, the Trump media. So keep an eye on this bad boy. I think this one wants to get running relatively soon. And let's see, PHUN, that's going to get fun. It was up 4 cents. It's curling up, curling through, and getting ready to get cruising, guys. So keep your eye on PHUN because it will get fun relatively soon. And let's see what MTN was running today. That Val, I'm telling you, this thing in the after hours, it started to move. Let me see exactly what it did. I know I saw it moving today. 190 to 200, and it's at 197. And I think it started to move in the after hours. It closed at 190 and went up in the after hours. But yeah, remember Val? And we were looking at this bad boy that way down here in like the 170s. So you're at over almost $200 right now. It hit that 200. So there you go. I told you that one would get cruising. That's MTN Val Resorts. And let's see. So we were super early for that one. MCD, good old McDonald's was up 239. I'm telling you, this one's getting ready to rock and roll too. And it looks better to get back up to that 310 plus area. So MCD is going up. And how about Boeing? That was up today. And it looks like it wants to curl up. It's not even the most bullish one, but it's definitely cruises around and cruises back up. Looks like it's curling up to get running over that 160. So keep an eye on it. Maybe it'll change the chart around. It'll get bullish because it's not exactly bullish now, but maybe Boeing's looking a little better. Boeing lays off hundreds in Washington and California as part of cuts announced previously. So that was today. And they were on 60 Minutes last night. Have no idea. And they laid off 400 people in Washington. And yeah, so like I said, the company doesn't even look great, and there you go, they're laying people off. So that's Boeing BA, and like I said, maybe it would turn around, but I'm not so sure. And let's look at SPCE, and this one could get cruising. I think that's bottomed out and going to start curling back up. SPCE space, so we'll keep an eye on that. It looks like Friday was at bottom, and you're going to have that curl up right there. So that's SPCE. And let's take a look at Rivian because it's been ripping for us. It was up to what, $15. I think it did get up there or right under it, 14.99, 14.99. And another one super early on at $10 area was telling you guys it was setting up the run. And there you go, Rivian. It ran up for us. So that is Rivian PLTR. Aren't you guys glad I did tell you it's not the shortest? It was up to $80. It did pull back finally today, but and now it may come down, but I still would be careful. Now it looks like it might be topped out, and I would make sure that it's definitely coming down. But the other day, you would have got smoked the other day. I mean, this thing ran up almost $10 since everybody thought it was topped out, and I did not think it was topped out there. It could be topped out at that 80, 91. It almost looks like it, but again, you better make sure it crosses through that MACD and comes ripping down. And then you also have the 20 up here, all the way up at $65. So it has some good support that it could get caught up on. So you got to be careful with it. So just be careful with PLTR. And again, it was way up today, and it finally pulled back, but. I'm telling you, just beware of that bad boy because it could burn you PLTR. And let's keep an eye on what is it? Sophie, that was the next one. And that one's pulling back. And again, it came out of the top, not even that much. We were talking like it's at 1661 was topping out, maybe a little higher. And now you're at 1557 and it's hitting that 20. I'm telling you, it might get stuck up there and then go right back up on you. So, Sophie and PLTR, just be very careful because Sophie did come out of the top. It made some room on the chart and it barely came down. And PLTR could do the exact same thing to you. So, just beware. Like I said, there's better opportunities and safer ones. Just think about that probability and risk on them bad boys. That's some good risk right there. So, Dell. This one I think is going to try to make that bottom down here. It's finally basing out. Today could be its bottom and it get cruising back up. And we're at 123. And this one's had a nice little dip. So we'll keep an eye on Dell and see if it wants to get moving. And like I said, it could be the bottom right there. So I'll keep an eye on Dell to be setting up. Let's look at Nike and see what NKE is up to. It was setting up the other day. I don't know if I looked at it today. It was down $1.25. Yeah, we're gonna watch it in between this channel. 77 and basically 79 where it was today, exactly where it was today until its earnings are December 19th. So they're next Thursday. And again, I think it just gets set up until then. So we're just going to watch Nike until then, let it chill and bounce around. And that DXYZ, that thing did finally come back down. And again, be careful with this bad boy because has a lot of support and it's not even now the top. It's hitting that top line, could easily bounce back up. So be careful with that. Let me go ahead and run through the messages and see what we're looking at. And here we go. And the Cowboys just kicked the field goal to start the fourth quarter. It's 20-17, so they're in the lead. And here we go. Let me look at the messages and see what I'm missing over here. And the video is being hit with an antitrust probe by China. I expect a dip now, like Tesla recently, then rocket higher. Yeah, I did hear something about that antitrust thing today. I didn't realize it was in China. Actually, I did see a bunch of people talking about China and the semiconductors or something. And the antitrust. So thank you, Luis Rodriguez. I totally forgot about that. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that NVIDIA and see if it wants to pull back anymore. I'll keep you updated tomorrow. And let's see. Earnings reports. Let's see. Tomorrow, Laptop Travel. So what we're watching for Tuesday pre-market earnings: Money Heroes, MNY, and AutoZone, United Foods, and Always bargain outlets. And then your after hours earnings are your GameStop, Dave and Buster's, SFXI, SFIX. Holy cow, that's a hard one. Stitch Fix, SFIX. It's like a brain exercise. And Mind Technology, that MIND, that one we had looked at. And I'm not even going to look at them because they're earnings and they'll probably, I have no idea what they're going to do, but there's some important earnings for tomorrow that we'll be looking at. And then, of course, we'll be looking at them bad boys right after. How about that SEDG? That one had that one's been running up. We were watching this guy, and this thing looks like it's about to curl up and get back over that $16 area. It's in the 14s right now, and it does. It looks like it's going to get up to that 15.95 and roll through it. I'd keep an eye on that SEDG. That's looking really good right there, Luis Rodriguez. I like that guy right there. And let's see. Oh yeah, what platform was that? Thinkorswim. There you go. That one did look good. Luis Rodriguez posted a chart yesterday. I forget which chart it was now, but it was a pretty cool setup. And Laptop Travel was saying he liked it, and I was like, yeah, that does look nice. And it was Thinkorswim, so that does look like a pretty cool platform to check out some charts. And there's a lot. Again, it's very important you have the best charting for your liking too. Again, you have to take into consideration exactly what you're looking at and what you're trying to find. And TrendSpider for me was just solid, but I think TrendSpider is one of the best ones. Obviously, TradingView is pretty current and has a lot of great live tracks the pricing live, but I just think TrendSpider just does way more and is a better service. I've looked into them both, and like I say, I'm a big fan of the TrendSpider. And quite honestly, I feel like with the TrendSpider and setting up my own charts and really just zeroing in on them, I think I've been better than I ever have been before. I feel like sometimes I get into the matrix in these TrendSpider charts. The FinViz, I literally just look at it for a quick setup is all I do, and it's just kind of confirming what I'm going to look at on the TrendSpider now. Before, I used to use the FinViz to kind of see all the setups and watch everything, and it just doesn't give it to me anymore because the prices are just so erratically wrong. With pre-market and after hours, it's just crazy. Like they're just so inaccurate that you can't tell. And then the chart doesn't continue to set up in them after hours, and you have a lot of action going on, especially in the pre-markets. with Web Bull and stuff. So you need that accurate charting. And again, the Web Bull did look like a pretty cool platform right there. And is that what I think is Think or Swim? I'm sorry, Think or Swim did look like a pretty cool setup right there. So again, you got to find the best platform that works for you and the most accurate one. That's why I go through them and tell you guys what I think is the best and what from my experience, and I've been doing it a while, and I can tell you is, what the different setups and different things are. And again, the Trend Spider, I think, has just made me on top of my game, and I think they're just the most accurate ones, and they just have great software. So there you go with that. And so there's SEDG looking great right there. And let's see. Let me see. Let me see what else we have over here. PLTR. Luis Rodriguez has finally taken his profit. I don't blame you up there at that $80. It does look topped out. Could it bounce back up? Of course it could. I mean, but again, you're talking probability and risk. I wouldn't risk shorting it very much because, like I said, just like Sophie, it could get held up at that 65. Yeah, could it come down a few bucks? It could, but it could bounce right back up on you, and it's a risky one, but definitely smart to take some profits on there. So there you go. Good shot, Luis Rodriguez. Nice hit on there. Let's look at APP and see what they're up to. APP, App Loving Corp. This is a they love apps. This one's been in the top for a long time. Holy cow. September 12th. And it came out for like, what, one day, November 4th and 5th. And then it went right back in and stayed in there, and it finally came back out. And another one. This could get caught up at that 326 area. And this started down here at like 160s and even lower than that, and then under 100 before that in September. And you're talking, this thing just got over 400. You can see it topped out right there at that 417 on Friday. And it did come down, but again, it could get held up at that 326 area and then start to base out and start to try to base out and curl back up and start to move back up. So got to be careful with some of these. And these software companies right now are hot, and with the AI and everything else, they've just been crazy. So we'll keep an eye on that APP, that app, and see what that's going to do. And let's see what Genius is doing, GNS. This one was setting up really good. It was up a little bit today, and it is just about there. I give it like another couple days maybe. Um, but it is right there. It's just going to get over that 89 cents. Could do it tomorrow, actually, the way it looks. So keep an eye on GNS as well. I know we talked about GNS before, and that's that Genius Group, and it is looking really good. XAIR, let me see that, Ernest, and see what that's up to. XAIR. Let me see. That bottomed out on Friday, 49 to 50, and it's sitting at 50. Let me just see. XAIR. Let me just look at it on both of them. And again, I look at the FinViz real quick just to give me an idea of what's happening here. Just want to make sure. And then when I look at the trend spider, I can just tell immediately what it's going to do without even trying. And so yeah, you're at 50 and you're going to work your way up to that 52 and bounce up there. So that's looking decent. XAIR, Ernest. So there you go with that one. And let me just see right here. PRKR. Let's see what that's doing. PRKR. Is that what that says? PRKR. Let me see. Is that an OCT one? PRKR. Parker Vision, huh? Let me see. I gotta take this one down. This one looks like it's pulling back, actually. So, I mean, it looks like it's gonna dip down. See if it comes down to that 90 cents. It's at 96. It had run up Friday, got up to 104. It opened at 104, and that's where it got up to, and then started to pull back. So it looks like it's gonna pull back. See if it holds up again at that 90 cent area. And looks like it could be an OTC. It just came up on mine, not the FinViz. So there you go with that one. And let's see. Boom, TNFA. I think we got all them guys. Let me see if I missed anything else. I think we got all that. Let me see. Let's go through some of these ETFs real quick, see what they're up to, and then I'll just check out the scanner and see what we have. And I think that's perfect. I think that's a great night, and like I said, anything you guys want to look at, just shoot it over. We'll take a look at it. And there wasn't a whole lot going on today. I'm not gonna lie, there wasn't anything real crazy, more pullback than anything. But again, I love you got to have great pullback to have great pricing to run them up to get great profits. So you kind of need it, and that's why you play these things patiently. And we go over the market every single day, and we know exactly what's running. I mean, we've known Apple was running up all the way up, Amazon's been, and Google was set up. I said it last week. I actually bought them on Friday, them options. So there you go. Nvidia is pulling back. It was right there, and again, you get one of them antitrust things with China involved, and of course, it's going to pull back, but it will bounce right back up, like Luis Rodriguez said. With Tesla, did the same thing, and it'll do the exact same thing and go flying. So you can already see it's going to happen. Just got to catch it at the right time and let it rock and roll. So that will be Nvidia, and yeah, look at MU and QCOM and Intel and McDonald's because them ones look great. Dell setting up right there. That JTAI is looking so good. I'm telling you, anything with an AI right now, and it's coming out of the basement. That one hasn't run. It's a software company, and it looks like it wants to go nuts. Jet.ai. And let me just take a look at the scanner and see what's going on real quick, and then we'll go through the ETFs just because I kind of started looking. Oh, here you go. China stimulus. I couldn't think of the word stimulus package. There you go. When I was talking about the yin and the yang, yeah, they had a stimulus package. I couldn't think of that word. There you go. So Asian stocks gain on optimism over China stimulus. That was the word I was looking for. And how investors can position for bond vigilism and a growing U.S. debt load, according to something. China stocks jump on Politburo policy shift, something. China probe weighs on Nvidia stock and S&P falls. And Newman, how to fix the health insurance industry. Wow, that needs a big overhaul, huh? And here we go. And how about how crazy is it? I posted today. I mean, it's insane. We know more about this dude that shot the guy from the healthcare company, the CEO, than we know anything about the guy that has tried to assassinate Trump. I mean, that thing, we heard about that guy for about 2 minutes. They shot and killed him on a rooftop and cleaned that up in 3 minutes. And you never heard about the guy ever again. And it's nonstop coverage on this dude. I know what school he went to. I know everything about him. And I'm not sure why he didn't shave them eyebrows. I mean, they were a dead giveaway as soon as you looked at them things. I mean, you could pick him out of the lineup just with his eyebrows. It was crazy. So not very smart planning on that factor. But anyway, yeah, just crazy. I mean, they pick and choose what they want you to hear. That's for damn sure. And they clearly didn't want you to know anything about that Trump assassination because we still don't know anything about that guy. What was his name? Thomas something. I've posted it today. I don't even know the guy's name. I know this dude's name pretty well though. So that's pretty amazing, isn't it? I know it's current, but still pretty wild stuff. But anyway, here we go. Let me go through the scanners real quick, see what's happening here, and if I can get to them. I keep clicking the wrong. Here we go. Oh, I was trying to figure out where they were. Well, my brain is fried, I think. But anyway, here we go. And MSTZ is finally trying to get out of that basement. And that is the T-Rex two-time inverse MSTR daily target ETF. And it's looking kind of better. Maybe it will get out of the basement. I doubt it's probably going to hit that 20 at like $1.23. It's at $1.09 right now. And it is the ETF that goes against MSTR. So we'll keep an eye on it. LDTC, that one bounced up pretty good, but I'm not so sure we're going to be playing that. RIME, we already looked at that and it's looking pretty good. It's on here. We were looking at it the other day and it's curling up, looking decent. How about Duo? This one ran up in the after hours, I believe it was. Maybe it was today. I'm not sure. But it did run up. Yeah, it was up 30 cents today. DUO, let me see what that's doing. Duo. And 75 to 154. It's at 91 right now. So that one did. UOKA, we went over. NVIDIA, FXI, I mean, no, FXI is at China one. So that's the large cap ETF. That's way up. Lucid, we know. PLTR, ASST, we talked about yesterday. That was up pretty good today. And that's SoundHound, that's an AI company, that's way up at the top. But imagine that coming down, and I would assume that's going to be pulling back a little bit, but that one ran up like crazy as well. And how about Neo? We were talking about this the other day. That ran up pretty nice today, up 57 cents. GXAI, that one ran up, and Plug, BBAI, we talked about this morning, SMCI, Tesla. I mean, we already know every single. I'm looking through this SVMH. This one's kind of pulling back a little bit. Literally every single one we've gone through. And that's just like the main scanner here. MGX popped up. I'm not sure exactly what that was, but it looked good. And BBD, this one's way down there. That's a bank one in Brazil. I know I played that one before. How about that IQ? Remember I had this on the list not long ago. That one just popped up and looked really good today. I was telling you guys this one was setting up. IQ, that was on the list. And that one did pop up there today. And let's see what else. Sophie, iBit, that one's pulling back. AMD's pulling back. SOXL is kind of pulling back a little bit, but it'll set up. Ford is actually trying to get set up. Let's look at it because it's been pulling back. It's right there. That bottom's in right there at about 1039. You're at 1060. So take a look at Ford. That should try to run back up right now. Ford, XTIA, watch for that to try to bounce. Yeah, nothing crazy. I'm telling you, we already seen all these. Zio ran up. Let's look at Warner Brothers. Remember, I was telling you that thing has something going on. It's up over $11. That one ran way up there. And let me just see. I don't see anything else that crazy. Let me take a look over here, see what's going on in the volume area, and see if anything catches my eye. IPHA ran up there, and LDTC, HUIZ, that one ran way up there. And let's see, a few other ones we just talked about, that GELS. Um, let's see, CMRX, this one could get cruising right here. Keep an eye on that. CMRX looking good right there. That one should try to get moving. CPIX is looking good to roll back up too. Cumberland Pharmaceuticals, this one's looking decent. Keep an eye on that one. A lot of pharmaceutical companies right now. So they're cruising the biotechs, the pharmaceuticals, RIMEs right there. This one I bet's going to get running SXTC. This one always runs when the China small caps does. What it do today? Looks like it already ran 28 million, 41 to 55. It's at 48. Keep an eye on this tomorrow. That one's going to get cruising again. That's a great one when the China small caps get moving. SXTC. And let's see what else. Nothing else really grabbed my attention there. And NBTX, let me see what that is real quick. And that one's just kind of flat there. Tried to get moving. Let's see, is that today? Let me look at this. NBTX. Let's see what that's doing real quick. Yeah, that one ran up today. It did look good. 342 to 599. It's at 370, so I'd have to look at that one, but it did look good. Doesn't even show it on here on FinViz, so it must have run up in that after hours. But there you go. Like I said, you can tell when a chart looks great and it's about to run, and I'll tell you exactly what the FinViz says. $3 at 365. I didn't have it blown up. But again, this is at 370 and it ran to 599 and it only shows that it went to that 340 area. It doesn't even show that it went up. It showed 342 and then it shows that it says that it went up to 365. So you would have never known by looking at it. And yeah, you could just tell it was about to pop and it did. It ran up in the after hours. So there you go. And I don't really see anything else that crazy. So let's go ahead and go through the ETFs and let me know if you guys want to see anything else and we'll call it a night. Here we go. LMBO. Here we go. That one as the crypto bull, and obviously it's pulling back. And so yeah, that's pulling back right there, LMBO. So we'll keep an eye on that with the crypto pulling down. We looked at our yin and our yang, so we don't even have to do that. We know the yin's moving. Boil and cold, the boil was moving up, and I'm telling you, this one's getting bullish. As cold's been bullish for a long time. Boyle is going to get in between this channel of 43 and in that 43 area and start moving and get it back up over that 46. So Keep an eye on Boyle because that's looking much better. And cold is going to be looking kind of cold, I bet. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pulling back down there. So cold looks like it's going to be pulling back. That's Boyle and cold. NUGT Nug, that's up 235. And again, the gold bull ones look pretty good right now. And that is NUGT. And the opposite is dust. And yeah, that's right between that channel. So that's looking good. And DUST is down 374 and it is pulling back right there. So DUST is going down, NUG's going up. ERX, let's see that one. That's the energy bull, and that one's coming down to the bottom. So I expect that one to get set up fairly soon. And ERY is the energy bear, and obviously is popping up there, so may run up a little bit more, but they'll change courses relatively soon. And QQQU is the Mag 7 bull, and it looks like it's coming down. It looks like it just topped out, so maybe we will see a little bit of pullback on the Mag 7s, and we'll take a look at that. And FNGG is another one. That's the Fang bull two times, and that one came out of the top and is pulling back. It looks like it wants to come down to this 170 and bounce, so it's at 179. Nothing crazy, but they do look like they could pull back right there. And UBOT is the robotics, artificial AI, and automation bull. And this one is actually pulling back. It's at 25.86. It wants to pull back to that 25 and get set up and then run right off of that. So that's UBOT. And Gush and Drip. Gush is the oil and gas one. That's the bull. And that one is just trying to get set up. It's been pulling back. So let's look at Drip and see what that's doing. DRIP. And yeah, Drip has been running up and looks like it's going to kind of try to pull back. It wants to run up a little bit more, but they're going to change courses too. And the Drip is the bear, and the Gush is the bull one. So yeah, you're gonna see that oil and gas switch turn around too. So Trump did say he's gonna be drilling, so that'll definitely change it around right there. And URAA, that's the uranium industrial, and that's pulling back. Let this come down to the bottom as well. That's a really nice dip today, 205, and we'll have to smack that one out of the park when that's ready. So we're getting some great opportunities right here, guys. SPXL, that's the S&P bull, 500 bull, and it is pulling back, so it does look a little bearish to come down a couple bucks. So the SPX S is the bear one, and that one does look like it's going to pop up a little bit there. Nothing too crazy, so it does look like the market is a little bearish for a moment, and that is fine. It does need to pull back, and we'll get some great pricing. TNA, that's our small cap bull, and this one's just kind of pulling back. So let's see what TZA is doing. And that one is getting cruising. That's the small cap bear. So small caps, I guess, are getting a little bearish as well. And let's look at Defen, DFEN. And that one's pulling back and way down. So I don't even need to go through aerospace and defense because it must not be setting up if this one's coming back down. So let it come down to that 33. Maybe it'll come down to that 32 and then want to bounce. We'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, a lot of great pullback today. And there you go with our market. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any messages here. I think I got everything. And there you go. I think that's a pretty good market review for tonight. And again, a lot of pullback, but that's perfectly fine. We definitely like that. We just went through everything. And like I said, that JTAI is looking great. And HAO is looking really good as well. And then keep your eye also on the Lion LGHL, and that EYEN was looking good. Let's see what else is looking really good tonight. DDD was looking really good. And what else? And again, MU, QCOM, Intel, INTC, and Dell setting up. McDonald's is running up there. They're looking good. And a lot of the laptop travel ones were looking great as well. So there you go with our market review for a Monday night. So we'll be back at 7 a.m. for pre-market. So let me know what you guys want to see in the morning. Shoot them over, and I'll go through them. We'll be breaking down the market, looking at our Joey's jumpers, and our laptop lowdowns, and everything else that's going to be moving. So hopefully it gets a little more green, but it could pull back a little bit more. I'm not even sure. It's hard to tell looking at that SPY. It is pulled back in the after hours, and it does look like it wants to pull back, but I'm not so sure it wants to curl through coming down. So we'll definitely look at it in the morning. You know that, and we'll have better eyes and see what's going on then. So there you go. Have a great night, everybody. The game's tied 2020 in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes left. So you can go enjoy the Monday night game right there. And I will catch you guys at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So have a great night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Laptop Travel, thanks for all your help. And Profit Logics, Luis Rodriguez, thanks for sending in all them great ones. And RD as well. Jennifer Lee and Crypto Bit Mag and the Pink, I want to say the Fox. Pink Wolf, I knew it was wrong. Pink Wolf and Bong Pri Chan, and also Doge Mama 9, Sherry, Douglas, Stealth Trader right there. How are you? Jay Kratz, DeWitt, Rebecca, Bruce, Bendover, and Patrick, and everyone else that was tuned in. Thank you very much, everyone. I always appreciate it. You know that. And again, let me know what you want to see. Shoot me a message or a comment. I answer everybody. And I'll be back at 7 a.m. to break down the market. So have a great night, everybody. Get some rest, and I'll catch you guys in the morning. Have a good night, and I'll see you at 7 a.m.